The other one's called pride. Now, I'm not sure if I'm the only person here that's ever made a mistake because of ego or pride, but I made a pretty big one. I never helped my brother with the most important thing. That's simply the right reason. Does anybody here think that he might have helped his fiance? The answer is, guess what? I'll never know. Every single day I have to live with the fact that I've helped thousands of other people's families, just not my own. And to be quite honest, it doesn't feel very good. So when I tell you this, I absolutely mean it. If you decide not to do this as a business, I'm going to make you one promise. That promise is, our company will be fine. It's not a business for everybody. That's just being honest. But before you leave here, there's probably two things you should know. Does it work? Can I prove it? If you drank the coffee today, I will prove it to you right now. Go back to a time when you drank normal coffee. How does it make you feel? Most people get a little jittery, right? Some people get a little anxiety, heart palpitations, acid reflux, a host of other negative things, and then you lose all your energy and crash. Well, notice how you're feeling now. Energized, focused, a little bit happier, sometimes too happy. No crash. Now, if Ganoderma lucidum is powerful enough to counteract the negative effects of caffeine and acid that quickly in your body, what else is it doing? What if everything else I told you was true? Don't you think you should at least share it with the people you care about? At least that much? And this is where all the concerns come in. Mike. If you knew my friends and family, we wouldn't be having this conversation. They hate it when I try and make money off them, right? Absolutely. Well, here at Gano Excel, we know that, and we made a very special program for your friends and family. If you sell it to them at the exact same price you bought it for, guess what? Well, you won't make any money. Now you got a clear conscience. All right, number two. Mike, is this one of those pyramid companies? Yes, it is. Well, I don't want to be in a pyramid company. In fact, I don't want to be in any type of pyramid at all. And that's understandable, but you might have to change your lifestyle just a little bit. Number one, if you have a job now, you might have to quit. If your boss makes more than you do, and there's more workers than bosses, well, what shape does that make? Well, that's a pyramid, so you can't work. Anybody here go to church? One preacher, a lot of congregation, another pyramid, can't go there either. Live in the United States. One president, lots of taxpayers. You see my point? Every organization's a what? They're all pyramids. Now the question you really have is, how are you going to pay me, and why should I like it that way? Because right now I work this amount of hours, I get paid this amount of money. That's called linear income, also known as hourly or salary, right? Let me ask this question. How many people here have ever been to Hawaii? How many people would like to go? If I sent you there all expenses paid for 3 months, who here would go? Second question, who would pay your bills here? Who could go now? If you can't go, there's one thing in your life you don't own. What is it? Your time. How does that feel? Well, how do you earn your own time? There's a couple, 3 ways that I figured out how to do it. Number one, I've been trying this for years. I still haven't won the lottery, so I'm still doing this. Just kidding. Number two, save your money, invest it, and hopefully it doesn't do this like it's been doing for the last couple years, and you can retire. Number three, you can earn residual income. That's what we do here. But what's residual? Let me explain to you in a way everybody understands. Every time you turn on your computer, who makes a little bit of money? This guy named Gates does, and your electric company. Every time you download something to your iPod, iPhone, iTouch, whatever, who makes a little money? This guy named Jobs does. Every time you go to Starbucks, McDonald's, the guy that owns the name Starbucks or McDonald's makes a little money. That's residual, doing something one time. How many times did you buy your cell phone? How often do you keep paying for it? Every single month. That's residual. How do you do that with coffee? It's very simple. You introduce it to somebody, they like it, they buy it again. Guess what? You get paid. They introduce it to somebody else, now you get paid on 2 people. How many people think you could introduce this coffee to 2 people? Right? Could you teach those 2 people to share it with 2 people? What happens if that's all you did for an entire year? All you did for an entire year, what would that turn into? Well, the first month you'd have 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256. If math gets bad, we'll just say 500. 1,000, 2,000, 4,000 in a year. Now you take that with our compensation plan, where you're earning 15%. Well, that's, you take that times our, now, average coffee use. Let's go through that. Average Starbucks user spends about $300 a month. right? Now, a family of 4 could easily go through a couple $100s of normal coffee a month. We'll just break it down to the minimum. We'll say 50. They're buying 50 bucks a month, affordable for anybody, of our coffee. That's 400,000, your percentage 50. So they're making 30,000 a month. Anybody here can live off 30,000? How many people here are skeptical? Okay, not going to do that. I'm not going to duplicate every month. I can't do 2 people. Let's break that down. Let's go 50%. Anybody here live off 15,000 a month? Yeah, I could definitely live off 15,000, but I'm not going to do that. Well, let's go to 25%. 7,500? You live off that a month? Yeah, let's keep going down. Let's say you made only 500 bucks extra a month. Did you know that 93% of all bankruptcies could have been avoided with $300 to $400 extra dollars a month? How powerful is a statement saying, hey, I earn an extra $500 or $1,000 a month part-time? How many people like to earn an extra $5,000 or $1,000 a month part-time? What could you do with that money? Could you maybe buy a different car? Maybe eat different foods? Maybe save that money for a year and go on a nice vacation, right? There's a lot you can do with an extra 500 bucks. How much money is possible? How much could you really make? Well, you have a guy here that's making about $3,000. Now, I know what you're thinking. $3,000 still isn't that much money. Thought this was a big company. It's not if you're making it every month, but he makes it every single day. Yeah. His name's Mr. Robert Hollis, and he's the sponsor of most people in here. Now, here's the thing. $3,000 a day times 360, that's $1 million a year. How do I know it's residual income for him? Well, he's got an office, because he does so well at our corporate office. I haven't seen him in 12 weeks. He just bought a house next to Kobe Bryant that's worth $5.5 million. A Harley, an airplane. Isn't this a bad economy? Right? And what does he do? All he did was introduce coffee to people that would introduce to other people. All of his people, if you look at everybody down the line, $50, $50, $50, $50, $50, $50 on products they use, that they've always been using every single day. Now, what I'm going to tell you here, everybody already knows. The only person that cares about your future should be you. The only person that can change your future is you. If you're going to go and try something different, this might be a good opportunity. This might be the right chance. I guarantee you 100% within the next 10 years, we will be a billion-dollar company in the United States alone. How do I know that? Every single country we've touched, every single country has been successful. We are successful in 65 countries. This is the one we're coming to now. We have people in Peru, and trust me, $500 a month is a good living in Peru, that are making $56,000 a week in Peru. A very poor country. We're going to turn the United States upside down. We're going to make this the economy. We're going to boost and change a lot of people's lives. If that's something you'd like to do, definitely talk to the person that invited you here today. If not, then enjoy the coffee. I mean, the worst thing that can happen with joining Gano Excel today is you drink our coffee and you become a little bit healthier. That's it. There's 3 people in this room. We call them 1, 2s, and 3s. Number 1 was I'd be already doing this if this guy up here would just be quiet. Done, ready, let's sign up. Number 2 is I need some more information. And the 3s, they're the people that say, you know what, not for me, but I'd sure like to drink that coffee. So let the person that invited you here today know whether you're a 1, 2, or 3. And then it clears up the air, no hiding from them, and let them know what's going on. If this is for you, we're happy to have you. If it's not, please enjoy the coffee. That's really what it comes down to. Does anybody have any questions? That's why we save them to the end. Go ahead.
Why did you choose to come to the United States last?
They started in Asia, where Ganoderma lucidum is already, or reishi or lingji is already well known. That's why the first 2 years they're only doing pills. Then in 1997 they introduced coffee so they could break into the markets that have no idea what this miraculous herb is capable of. So people would actually try it. So they started in their backyard. That's why I always tell people, start in your backyard and it'll grow out on its own. Any other questions? Go ahead.
Can you cover what the numbers are in the United States as far as people involved with Gano Excel?
There's probably about 200 to 200,000 people in the United States, 80% of which are customers. Just coffee drinkers. One thing you have to have a real residual income is a product that people will use regardless if they're making money or not. How many people have ever been pitched another opportunity before? Anybody? Let me ask this question. How many times can you sell a $4,000 water machine to the same person? One time. Magnetic mattress? One time. These are all superior products, don't get me wrong. I own most of them myself. Magic bracelet? One time. Well, 2, 3, 4 times. Right? Juice, that's consumable, right? Now let me ask you this question. If your income level dropped a little bit, what's the first thing off the shopping list? $250 worth of juice a month? What's the last thing? Might be your coffee. It just makes more sense. Any other questions? Yes?
When the business was presented before you, how long did it take for you to decide that you want to do this gun house?
For me, it was on a corporate level, taking a position, leaving a high-paying job. Took me about, actually after flying down to Irwindale, meeting with Job, I was in. But there were other loose ends I had to tie up, so it took me 4 months. But after the moment of meeting Job and seeing the vision, I already put in my notice. So it was a done deal. The funniest story I've got is I won President's Club up on stage. I won a 7-day cruise to the Caribbean. And I walked up on stage, said, I'll take the plaque, you keep the cruise. I quit. I like leaving on top. I never leave at the bottom. Never leave at the bottom. Any other questions? I have the plaque to prove it. Go ahead.
You're doing this full time. You're an active distributor, and somebody came up to you. Would you recommend, or do you have a 30-second elevator speech that you would recommend anybody out here that's a distributor already?
You want mine or yours?
I'm interested in knowing what yours.
Mine's not duplicatable. If I were to go up to somebody being me, and this is why we have a system, we'll talk about the system here after a short break. But if I walked into an elevator, I'd say, hey, do you drink coffee? Sure. Would you like one that's an antibacterial, anti-candida, anti-inflammatory, antiviral, anti-tumor, lowers blood pressure, lowers cholesterol, blood sugar moderator, cardiovascular, enhancer, kidney tonic, liver tonic, nerve tonic, boosts immune system, rids the body, heavy metal, 10 seconds. Sure. Great. Sign this piece of paper. We'll get you going. You, on the other hand, would say something more like, hey, we just introduced, I just partnered with a company, International Coffee and Tea Company. I'd like to get together, have a cup of coffee, show how we can make some money together. Okay, get their information. You sit down and you push play. The most important thing you can do there is just shut your mouth. At the very end of that, you ask them one question. What's the best part you liked about that video? Well, I like this. And your answer should always be, me too. That's exactly one of the same reasons I joined this company. What else do you need to know for us to go into business together? Then you simply answer the questions. How many people could learn how to press play? That's all you need to do to be successful in this business. If you try to do what I do, you're not going to make any money. That's why I had to go on corporate side. I did network marketing before and I made money, but I never duplicated myself. I am a professional salesperson. I have a 4-year degree in sales. Period. I can't stop myself. I've got a motor mouth. I like to talk. And even if I knew there was a simple system, I would still try and do it the way that I do it. So I had to go on the corporate side. And we didn't have a system back then, but we do now. Any other questions?